Hello and welcome to this space of calm and reflection. We are the Mindful Zone, and today we're embarking on a journey together, a journey that will help you stop worrying about the negative and find peace in your daily life. Whether you're new to mindfulness or already exploring these ideas, this video is designed to be warm, accessible, and deeply relaxing. If you've ever felt weighed down by worries, whether they're about the future, relationships, work, or even small everyday stresses, you're not alone. We all experience moments when our minds spiral into negativity, replaying worst-case scenarios or dwelling on things beyond our control. But what if there was a way to step out of that cycle? What if you could learn to let go of what no longer serves you and embrace a sense of calm, clarity, and purpose? That's exactly what we'll explore in this video. Together we'll draw wisdom from Buddhism, meditation, and mindfulness practices, all tools that have been helping people navigate life's challenges for centuries. These teachings aren't just philosophical, they're practical. They offer real, actionable ways to transform how you relate to your thoughts, emotions, and the world around you. Now, before we dive deeper, take a moment to settle into your seat. If you're watching this at home, maybe sitting on your couch or lying down somewhere comfortable, take a deep breath. Inhale slowly and exhale. Feel the weight of your body against the surface beneath you. Notice the sensation of your feet touching the ground or your hands resting gently in your lap. This is where our journey begins, in the present moment, right here, right now. You don't need any special equipment or prior knowledge to benefit from what we'll cover today. All you need is an open mind and a willingness to try something new. And remember, progress isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for yourself, even in small ways, and building habits that nurture your well-being over time. Throughout this video, I'll guide you through 10 chapters, each focusing on a different aspect of letting go of worry and cultivating inner peace. From understanding why we focus on the negative to learning powerful techniques like acceptance, compassion, and gratitude, we'll explore how these principles can help you live more fully in the present moment. Along the way, I'll also share simple exercises you can practice alongside me so you can start experiencing their benefits immediately. As part of the Mindful Zone, my goal is to create content that feels supportive, non-judgmental, and genuinely helpful. Think of this as a safe space where you can pause, reflect, and reconnect with yourself. Life moves fast, and sometimes it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But by carving out this time for yourself, you're taking a meaningful step toward creating more balance and joy in your life. So, whether you're here because you're feeling overwhelmed, curious about mindfulness, or simply looking for ways to enhance your well-being, know that you're exactly where you need to be. Take another deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Let's begin. Chapter 1: Understanding Worry. Why do we focus on the negative? Our minds are incredible tools, capable of creativity, problem-solving, and empathy. But they also have a tendency to fixate on the negative, a trait that dates back to our earliest ancestors. Imagine living thousands of years ago in a world filled with real dangers, predators lurking in the shadows, unpredictable weather, scarce resources. In such an environment, survival depended on being hyper-aware of potential threats. Over time, this evolved into what psychologists call the negativity bias, our brain's natural inclination to prioritize bad news over good. Fast forward to today, and while many of those ancient threats no longer exist, our brains still operate as if they do. A harsh comment from a colleague, a looming deadline, or an unexpected bill can trigger the same fight or flight response as encountering a saber-toothed tiger. The result: we spend far too much energy worrying about things that may never happen, or, worse, things we can't control. This is where Buddhism steps in with profound wisdom. One of its core teachings is that suffering arises not just from external circumstances, but also from our attachment to thoughts and emotions. When we cling to negativity, replaying painful memories, anticipating disasters, or ruminating on mistakes, we give it power. It becomes heavier, more consuming, until it clouds our ability to see clearly. Let me share a personal story. For years, I struggled with chronic anxiety. Every little hiccup in my day would send me spiraling into what-if scenarios. What if I failed? What if people judged me? What if everything fell apart? It wasn't until I started studying mindfulness and Buddhist philosophy that I realized how much of my suffering came not from the events themselves, but from my reaction to them. By learning to observe my thoughts without identifying with them, I began to loosen their grip. Take a moment right now to reflect on your own patterns. Close your eyes for a moment. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. Now bring to mind something you've worried about recently. Maybe it's a work project, a disagreement with a loved one, or uncertainty about the future. As you think about it, pay attention to how it feels in your body. Is there tension in your chest, a knot in your stomach, perhaps a heaviness in your shoulders? That physical sensation is the weight of worry. Now, imagine setting it down, even if only for now. Picture placing it on a table beside you, knowing you can pick it up later if needed. Notice how it feels to release it, however briefly. This practice isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is fine. It's about creating space between you and your thoughts. Instead of being swept away by them, you become the observer, the calm witness who watches them come and go like clouds across the sky. Why does this matter? Because when we stop feeding our worries with constant attention, they naturally lose strength. They may not disappear completely, but they become less overwhelming, less defining. In Buddhism, this concept is known as dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. Dukkha arises when we resist reality, clinging to what we want or rejecting what we don't. The antidote lies in embracing what is, not passively accepting harm, but actively choosing to meet life with openness and curiosity. Think about a recent challenge you faced. How did resisting it affect your experience? Did fighting against it make it easier to bear, or did it amplify your discomfort? On the other hand, can you recall a time when you surrendered to a difficult situation, trusting that it would eventually pass? How did that feel? Resistance creates suffering. Acceptance opens the door to freedom. Of course, none of this is easy. Our minds are conditioned to seek safety, predictability, and control. Letting go requires patience, practice, and self-compassion. But every small step counts. Every moment of awareness brings you closer to peace. To truly understand why we focus on the negative, let's break it down further. First, consider the role of evolution. Our brains are wired to prioritize survival above all else. This meant paying close attention to danger signals in the environment. If you heard rustling in the bushes, assuming it was a predator rather than the wind could mean the difference between life and death. While modern life doesn't typically involve such immediate threats, our brains haven't caught up. They still scan for risks even when those risks are imagined or exaggerated. Second, there's the influence of society and culture. From a young age, we're taught to value achievement, success, and perfection. We're bombarded with messages telling us we need to be better, faster, smarter. Social media amplifies this pressure, showing us curated versions of other people's lives that leave us feeling inadequate. The result? We constantly compare ourselves to others, focusing on what we lack rather than what we have. Third, there's the nature of thought itself. Thoughts are fleeting, they arise, linger for a moment, and then dissolve. But when we attach meaning to them, they take on a life of their own. A single worry can spiral into hours of rumination if we allow it. And because negative thoughts tend to be louder and more persistent, they dominate our mental landscape unless we intervene. So, how do we begin to shift this pattern? The first step is awareness. Simply noticing that you're caught in a cycle of worry is powerful. You might say to yourself, here's worry again. Hello, old friend. There's no need to judge yourself for having these thoughts. They're human. But by acknowledging them, you create distance. You remind yourself that you are not your thoughts. Next, try labeling your thoughts. When you notice yourself spiraling, gently name what's happening. This is fear. This is doubt. This is regret. Labeling helps diffuse the emotional charge, making it easier to let go. Finally, practice redirection. Once you've acknowledged and labeled your thoughts, invite your attention back to the present moment. Focus on your breath, the sensations in your body, or the sounds around you. Ground yourself in what's real rather than getting lost in what-ifs. Let's pause here for a moment. Think about a time when you successfully redirected your focus away from worry. What did you do? How did it feel afterward? Even if it was just for a few seconds, celebrate that victory. Every act of presence matters. Understanding why we focus on the negative is crucial, but it's only the beginning. In the next chapter, we'll explore acceptance, a cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy and a key to releasing the grip of worry. Until then, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned so far. What insights resonate with you? Which ones feel challenging? There are no right or wrong answers. Simply notice. Chapter 2. Acceptance, embracing what is. Acceptance is one of the most misunderstood, yet transformative concepts we can embrace in our lives. It's not about giving up, resigning yourself to negativity, or ignoring problems. Instead, acceptance is about acknowledging reality as it is without resistance. Resistance creates suffering. Acceptance opens the door to freedom. In Buddhist philosophy, this concept is called equanimity. Equanimity doesn't mean you don't care, it means you cultivate balance. You neither cling desperately to joy nor drown in despair, but find steadiness within. This steadiness allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace, clarity, and resilience. Let's start by addressing a common misconception. Many people think acceptance means agreeing with everything that happens or passively tolerating harm. That couldn't be further from the truth. Acceptance is about seeing things clearly for what they are, not what we wish they were or fear they might become. It's about saying yes to the present moment, even if that moment includes pain, uncertainty, or discomfort. Imagine standing at the edge of a river. Thoughts, emotions, and experiences flow past like water. Some parts of the river are calm and clear, others are turbulent and murky. If you try to stop the current, fight against it, or change its course, you'll exhaust yourself. But if you simply stand there, observing, allowing, it becomes easier to stay grounded. The river keeps flowing, and so do you. This metaphor reminds us that life is always changing. Nothing stays the same forever. Not happiness, not sadness, not worry. When we resist what is, we create unnecessary suffering. When we accept it, we open ourselves to peace. To understand how powerful acceptance can be, let's explore some real-life examples. Think about someone who has experienced loss, a loved one passing away, the end of a relationship, losing a job. In the early stages of grief, denial often takes hold. This isn't fair, they might say. Why me? I didn't deserve this. These reactions are natural, but clinging to them prolongs the pain. Only when they begin to accept the reality of their situation, painful as it may be, can they truly start to heal. It's important to note that acceptance doesn't erase emotion. Grief still hurts, anger still burns, sadness still lingers. But instead of being consumed by these feelings, acceptance gives us space to process them. We stop fighting what's already here and focus on how to move forward. Now, let's bring this idea closer to home. Think about something you've been resisting lately. Maybe it's a difficult situation, a challenging relationship, or even your own feelings. Close your eyes for a moment. Take 3 deep breaths. Now bring that thing to mind. Notice how it feels in your body, the tightness in your chest, the heaviness in your stomach, the tension in your jaw. Instead of pushing it away, say silently to yourself, I see you. I accept you as part of my experience right now. Don't try to fix it, change it, or make it go away. Just acknowledge its presence. Notice any shift, no matter how small. Sometimes, simply naming what's true can bring immense relief. By accepting what is, you release the exhausting effort of trying to control the uncontrollable. You free up energy to focus on what you can influence, your response, your attitude, your actions. But how do we practice acceptance in daily life? Here are several techniques rooted in mindfulness and Buddhism. Labeling your experience. Start by identifying what you're feeling. For example, if you're stressed about work, you might say, "This is stress, this is pressure." Labeling helps you step back from the intensity of the emotion and view it objectively. It's like turning down the volume on a loud radio. It doesn't eliminate the noise, but it makes it more manageable. The RAIN technique, Tara Brach, a renowned meditation teacher, developed the acronym RAIN to guide us through difficult emotions. R. Recognize what's happening. Name the emotion or thought. A. Allow it to be there. Don't push it away or judge it. I investigate it with curiosity. Where do you feel it in your body? What stories are you telling yourself? And nurture yourself with compassion. Offer kindness to yourself as you would to a dear friend. Mindful observation. Sit quietly for a few minutes and observe whatever arises in your mind, thoughts, sensations, emotions, without engaging with them. Imagine you're sitting on a hilltop watching clouds drift by. They come and go, but you remain steady. Practicing this regularly trains your mind to let go of attachment to negative thoughts. Gratitude for challenges. While it sounds counterintuitive, finding gratitude in difficult situations can deepen your acceptance. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How might this challenge help me grow? Even small shifts in perspective can soften resistance and foster resilience. Compassionate self-talk often. Our inner critic amplifies negativity and makes acceptance harder. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself during tough times. Are you harsh and judgmental, or kind and understanding? Try replacing self-criticism with compassionate phrases like, "I'm doing the best I can," or "This is hard, but I trust myself to handle it." Let's take a deeper dive into why self-compassion is so crucial. Many of us believe that being tough on ourselves will motivate us to improve. We think criticism will keep us accountable, but research shows the opposite is true. When we treat ourselves with kindness, we build emotional resilience and are better equipped to face challenges. Self-compassion also helps us accept imperfection, both in ourselves and in others. Perfectionism is a major source of resistance because it sets unrealistic standards. No matter how hard we try, we'll never meet those expectations consistently. Accepting our flaws and recognizing that everyone else has them too frees us from the burden of striving for unattainable ideals. Another aspect of acceptance is learning to differentiate between what we can control and what we can't. The Serenity Prayer captures this beautifully. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I can't change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. For instance, consider traffic jams. You can't control other drivers or road conditions, but you can control your reaction. Will you spend the entire time fuming and honking, or will you use the opportunity to listen to calming music, practice deep breathing, or reflect on your day? Choosing acceptance transforms an otherwise frustrating experience into a chance for growth. Now let's talk about how acceptance applies to relationships. Have you ever found yourself holding on to grudges, replaying arguments in your head, or wishing someone would behave differently? These patterns keep us stuck in cycles of resentment and dissatisfaction. Acceptance invites us to let go, not necessarily of boundaries or values, but of the expectation that others must conform to our desires. When we accept others as they are, flaws and all, we create healthier connections. Of course, this doesn't mean tolerating harmful behavior. It means releasing the need to change people and focusing instead on mutual respect and understanding. Finally, let's address the role of patience in acceptance. Changing deeply ingrained habits of resistance takes time. Be gentle with yourself as you practice these techniques. Celebrate small victories along the way. Did you notice a moment of acceptance today? Did you pause before reacting impulsively? Those moments add up. Before we move on, I'd like to leave you with a reflection exercise. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now bring to mind something you've been struggling to accept. It could be related to your health, finances, career, relationships, anything that feels unresolved. Silently repeat these phrases. I acknowledge this situation as it is. I release my need to control it. I trust that I have the strength to face it. Stay with this for a few minutes, noticing any shifts in your body or mind. Remember, acceptance isn't a one-time event, it's a continuous practice. In the next chapter, we'll explore observing thoughts without judgment, a cornerstone of mindfulness practice that builds on the foundation of acceptance. Until then, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. How does acceptance feel different from resistance? What challenges might arise as you incorporate into your life? Trust the process and know that every step forward brings you closer to peace. Chapter 3. Observing thoughts without judgment, a cornerstone of mindfulness practice. Welcome back to this space of calm and reflection. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most foundational practices in mindfulness, observing thoughts without judgment. This skill is simple in theory but profoundly transformative when applied consistently. It's about stepping back from the constant chatter of your mind and becoming an impartial observer, someone who watches thoughts come and go without getting swept away by them. To understand why this practice matters, let's first examine how our relationship with thoughts typically works. Most of us live on autopilot, identifying completely with whatever arises in our minds. If a thought says, "I'm not good enough," we believe it. If another whispers, "Something bad is going to happen," we brace ourselves for disaster. We take these thoughts at face value, assuming they're true simply because they exist. But here's the truth: just because a thought exists doesn't mean it's accurate or helpful. Thoughts are like clouds. They drift through the sky of our consciousness, some light and fluffy, others dark and stormy. But here's the key insight: none of them define us unless we let them. When we learn to observe our thoughts without attaching meaning to them, we create distance between ourselves and the stories we tell. We realize that we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness behind them. This realization is liberating. Imagine standing on a hilltop watching clouds pass by. Some are bright and cheerful, others are heavy with rain. You don't chase after them or try to hold on to them, you simply notice. Over time, you begin to see patterns in the weather of your mind. Certain thoughts recur more often than others. Certain emotions linger longer. By observing without judgment, you gain clarity about what drives your behavior and choices. Let's break this down further. What does it mean to observe thoughts without judgment? At its core, it means refraining from labeling thoughts as good or bad, right or wrong. Instead of saying, "This thought is terrible, I shouldn't be thinking this way," you might say, "Here's a thought about failure. Interesting." Or instead of thinking, "Why am I so anxious all the time?" you could note, "Here's anxiety again, it's okay, it will pass." This non-judgmental stance is crucial because judgment amplifies suffering. When we criticize ourselves for having negative thoughts, we add another layer of pain. For example, imagine feeling sad and then berating yourself for being weak or overly emotional. Now you're dealing with two burdens: the original sadness and the self-criticism. Observing thoughts without judgment breaks this cycle. It allows you to meet each experience with curiosity rather than condemnation. Now, let's dive deeper into the mechanics of this practice. How do we actually observe our thoughts without judgment? Here are several techniques rooted in mindfulness and Buddhist teachings. The watcher within. Start by visualizing yourself as the watcher of your mind. Close your eyes and imagine sitting quietly on a hilltop, gazing out at the horizon. As thoughts arise, picture them as clouds drifting across the sky. Notice their shape, size, and texture. Are they wispy and translucent, dense and dark? Simply watch them move without trying to change or analyze them. Labeling thoughts. Another effective method is labeling your thoughts. When you notice a thought, silently name its category: thinking, worrying, planning, remembering. And this process helps you detach from the content of the thought and focus on its nature. For instance, instead of getting caught up in a spiral of, what if I lose my job? You might label it as worry and return to the present moment. Noticing triggers. Pay attention to what triggers certain thoughts. Is there a particular situation, person, or environment that brings them up? Understanding these patterns can help you anticipate and navigate them more skillfully. For example, if social media tends to spark comparison and self-doubt, you might choose to limit your exposure or approach it with greater awareness. Breath anchoring. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by thoughts, bring your attention back to your breath. Focus on the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, or the gentle rhythm of your abdomen expanding and contracting. The breath serves as an anchor, grounding you in the present moment and helping you disengage from mental chatter. Curiosity. Over criticism, approach your thoughts with curiosity rather than criticism. Ask yourself questions like, where did this thought come from? What need is it trying to fulfill? How realistic is it? This shift in perspective transforms thoughts from enemies into teachers. They reveal insights about your fears, desires, and beliefs, offering opportunities for growth. Let's pause here for a moment. Think about a recent thought that caused you distress. Maybe it was something like, I'll never succeed, or no one understands me. How did you respond to it? Did you believe it unquestioningly, argue with it, or push it away? Now imagine responding differently. Picture yourself observing the thought with detachment, noting its presence without engaging with it. How does that feel? It's important to acknowledge that this practice isn't easy, at least not at first. Our minds are conditioned to cling to thoughts, especially negative ones. Breaking this habit requires patience and persistence. But every time you catch yourself observing the thought without judgment, you strengthen your ability to do so in the future. Another powerful aspect of this practice is recognizing the impermanence of thoughts. Just as clouds dissolve into thin air, thoughts eventually fade away. No matter how intense or persistent they seem, they're temporary. Reminding yourself of this truth can be incredibly comforting. When you're caught in a wave of negativity, whisper to yourself, "This too shall pass." To illustrate the power of observing thoughts without judgment, consider the following metaphor. Imagine sitting beside a riverbank. Thoughts flow past like leaves floating on the water. Some leaves carry worries, others joys, regrets, hopes, doubts. Your job isn't to grab onto any of them, steer them downstream, or pluck them out. Your only task is to sit quietly and watch them go by. This metaphor highlights an essential truth. You don't have to act on every thought. Many of the ideas that pop into your head aren't worth pursuing. By observing them without judgment, you give yourself the freedom to choose which ones deserve your attention and which ones can safely drift away. Now let's talk about how this practice applies to daily life. Observing thoughts without judgment isn't reserved for meditation sessions. It's a tool you can use anytime, anywhere. Whether you're stuck in traffic, navigating a difficult conversation, or lying awake at night, this technique helps you stay grounded. For example, imagine you're having a disagreement with a loved one. Instead of reacting impulsively to every thought that arises, they're being unfair. Why don't they understand me? You pause and observe. You note the anger, frustration, or hurt without immediately expressing it. This pause gives you space to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. Similarly, if you find yourself ruminating on work-related stress, you can apply the same principle. Instead of spiraling into worst-case scenarios, you step back and observe. Here's worry again. Hello, old friend. By doing so, you prevent the thought from snowballing into overwhelm. One common challenge people face when practicing this technique is distinguishing between observing thoughts and suppressing them. Observing thoughts involves acknowledging their presence without attachment. Suppression, on the other hand, involves ignoring or denying them. Suppression creates tension, while observation fosters release. If you notice resistance creeping in, perhaps you feel guilty for having certain thoughts or frustrated that they keep returning. Remind yourself that all thoughts are welcome. There's no such thing as a bad thought. There are only unhelpful reactions to them. The goal isn't to eliminate negativity, but to relate to it differently. Finally, let's address the role of compassion in this practice. Observing thoughts without judgment requires kindness, not just toward others, but also toward yourself. Be patient as you cultivate this skill. Celebrate small victories along the way. Did you notice a moment of detachment today? Did you respond to a challenging thought with curiosity instead of criticism? Those moments matter. Before we move on, I'd like to guide you through a brief exercise to reinforce what we've covered. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now turn your attention inward. Allow your thoughts to arise naturally, without forcing anything. As each thought appears, silently label it: thinking, worrying, planning, etc. Don't judge or analyze, just observe. Stay with this for a few minutes, noticing how thoughts come and go like waves on the ocean. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset? Any insights about your thought patterns? In the next chapter, we'll explore cultivating compassion for yourself and others, a practice that builds on the foundation of observing thoughts without judgment. Until then, continue experimenting with this technique throughout your day. Remember, every moment of awareness brings you closer to peace. Chapter 4. Cultivating compassion for yourself and others. A path to healing. Welcome back to this journey of self-discovery and growth. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most transformative practices in mindfulness and Buddhism. Cultivating compassion for yourself and others. Compassion is not just a feeling, it's an active choice, a way of being that has the power to heal wounds, dissolve barriers, and connect us to the shared humanity beneath all our differences. Let's start by addressing a common misconception. Many people confuse compassion with pity. Pity involves looking down on someone from a place of superiority, while compassion arises from a deep sense of equality and connection. It's about recognizing that suffering is universal, that everyone, including you, experiences pain, fear, and uncertainty at some point in life. When we approach ourselves and others with compassion, we acknowledge this shared experience and respond with warmth, understanding, and care. Compassion begins with ourselves, yet, ironically, it's often easier to extend kindness to others than to ourselves. Think about it. How many times have you beaten yourself up over a mistake, called yourself names, or dismissed your own needs? Self-criticism is so ingrained in our culture that we rarely question it. But here's the truth. Being kind to yourself isn't selfish. It's essential. Without self-compassion, it's nearly impossible to sustain meaningful relationships, navigate challenges, or live authentically. So, what does self-compassion look like in practice? It starts with noticing when you're struggling, whether it's due to external circumstances or internal dialogue, and responding with the same kindness you'd offer a close friend. Imagine a loved one coming to you after a tough day at work. They tell you they feel overwhelmed, inadequate, or misunderstood. What would you say to them? Would you scold them for feeling this way, or remind them that they're doing their best? Chances are you'd listen attentively, validate their feelings, and reassure them that they're not alone. Now imagine offering that same level of care to yourself. To help you cultivate self-compassion, let's explore several techniques rooted in mindfulness and Buddhist teachings. The 3 components of self-compassion. Dr. Kristin Neff, a pioneer in self-compassion research, identifies 3 key elements. Self-kindness versus self-judgment. Instead of criticizing yourself for mistakes, treat yourself with gentleness and understanding. For example, instead of saying, "I'm such a failure," try saying, "This is hard, but I'm learning." Common humanity versus isolation. Remind yourself that suffering is part of the human experience. You're not alone in your struggles. This perspective helps reduce feelings of shame and isolation. Mindfulness versus over-identification. Stay present with your emotions without exaggerating or suppressing them. Acknowledge pain without letting it define you. Loving kindness, meditation, metta. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate compassion is through loving kindness meditation, or metta. This practice involves silently repeating phrases of goodwill toward yourself and others. Here's a simple version. Begin by placing a hand over your heart and closing your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths. Silently repeat these phrases. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Once you've directed these wishes toward yourself, expand outward. Picture someone you love, a family member, friend, or pet, and send them the same well wishes. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Next, think of someone neutral, a stranger, perhaps, and extend the same intentions. Finally, challenge yourself to include someone who challenges you. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior, but wishing them freedom from suffering. Compassionate self. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself during difficult moments. Are you harsh and critical, or supportive and encouraging? Try replacing negative self-talk with compassionate phrases like, "I'm doing the best I can right now." It's okay to feel this way. It's part of being human. I trust myself to handle whatever comes my way. Body scan with kindness. Another effective practice is combining mindfulness with self-compassion through a body scan. Lie down or sit comfortably, close your eyes, and bring your attention to different parts of your body. As you notice areas of tension or discomfort, silently say, "Thank you for carrying me through this day. I'm sorry for any neglect or stress I've caused you. May you feel relaxed and cared for. Gratitude for your strength." Often, we focus on our flaws and forget to appreciate our strengths. Take a moment each day to reflect on qualities you admire about yourself. Qualities like resilience, creativity, humor, or empathy. Celebrating these attributes boosts self-esteem and fosters a more compassionate relationship with yourself. Now let's talk about why self-compassion matters so much. Research shows that people who practice self-compassion experience lower levels of anxiety, depression, and burnout. They're also more likely to take risks, pursue goals, and bounce back from setbacks. Why? Because self-compassion creates a safe inner environment where growth can flourish. When you stop berating yourself for imperfections, you free up energy to focus on solutions rather than problems. But self-compassion isn't just beneficial for you, it ripples outward, influencing how you interact with others. When you're kind to yourself, you naturally become kinder to those around you. You develop greater patience, empathy, and understanding. Conflicts become less charged because you're no longer projecting unresolved pain onto others. Speaking of others, let's shift our focus to cultivating compassion beyond ourselves. Extending compassion to others is equally important, but it requires intention and practice. Consider the following strategies. Active listening. 1. Of the simplest yet most profound acts of compassion is listening deeply. When someone shares their thoughts or feelings with you, give them your full attention. Resist the urge to interrupt, judge, or offer unsolicited advice. Sometimes people don't need solutions, they just need to feel heard. Random acts of kindness small. Gestures of kindness can make a big difference. Hold the door open for someone, leave a generous tip, write a heartfelt note, or simply smile at a stranger. These actions remind us of our interconnectedness and inspire others to pay it forward. Seeing beyond differences. Compassion invites us to look beyond surface-level differences, race, religion, politics, socioeconomic status, and see the person underneath. Everyone carries burdens we may never fully understand. By approaching others with curiosity and openness, we foster connection and reduce prejudice. Forgiveness holding on to grudges keeps us trapped in cycles of resentment and bitterness. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, it means releasing the hold that behavior has on you. Practice forgiving both yourself and others, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Volunteering and engaging in service work connects us to something larger than ourselves. Whether it's volunteering at a shelter, mentoring a young person, or participating in community cleanups, giving back cultivates gratitude and reinforces our capacity for compassion. Let's pause here for a moment. Reflect on a time when someone showed you compassion. How did it feel? Did it lighten your load, even if only temporarily? Now think about a time when you extended compassion to someone else. How did that act affect you? Chances out, it felt fulfilling, not just for the recipient, but for you as well. Compassion is contagious. When we model kindness, we inspire others to do the same. Imagine a world where everyone practiced compassion regularly. The ripple effects would be immeasurable. Of course, cultivating compassion isn't always easy. There will be days when you feel drained, frustrated, or resentful. That's okay. Compassion doesn't require perfection, it requires effort. On tough days, remember that even small acts of kindness matter. A single smile, a brief moment of presence, or a kind word can brighten someone's day, including your own. Finally, let's address the role of boundaries in compassion. Some people worry that being compassionate means sacrificing their own needs or tolerating harmful behavior. This couldn't be further from the truth. Healthy compassion involves setting clear boundaries. It means saying no when necessary, prioritizing self-care, and standing up for what's right. Boundaries protect your energy and ensure that your compassion remains sustainable. Before we move on, I'd like to guide you through a short exercise to reinforce what we've covered. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now place a hand over your heart and silently repeat these phrases. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I accept myself exactly as I am. Stay with this for a few minutes, allowing the words to sink in. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset? Any sensations in your body? In the next chapter, we'll explore impermanence, a core teaching in Buddhism that reminds us nothing lasts forever, including pain and suffering. Until then, continue practicing compassion throughout your day. Notice how it transforms your interactions and enriches your life. Chapter 5. Impermanence, Nothing Lasts Forever. Welcome back to this journey of mindfulness and self-discovery. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most profound teachings in Buddhism, impermanence. The truth that nothing lasts forever, not joy, not sorrow, not even life itself, can be both unsettling and liberating. Understanding impermanence helps us let go of attachment, embrace change, and find peace in the present moment. At first glance, impermanence might seem like a grim concept. After all, who wants to dwell on the fleeting nature of happiness or the inevitability of loss? But when we look deeper, we realize that impermanence is also the source of hope. It reminds us that pain, fear, and uncertainty are temporary, and so are moments of beauty, connection, and love. By embracing impermanence, we learn to appreciate life more fully and navigate its challenges with greater resilience. Let's begin by examining why impermanence matters. Consider the natural world around you. Flowers bloom in spring only to wilt in summer. Leaves turn vibrant shades of red and gold in autumn before falling to the ground. Rivers carve paths through mountains, shaping landscapes over millennia. These cycles of birth, growth, decay, and renewal are constant reminders that everything changes. Yet how often do we resist this reality in our own lives? We cling to relationships, careers, possessions, and identities, hoping they'll remain unchanged. When they inevitably shift, as they always do, we experience disappointment, frustration, or grief. But what if we could meet these changes with openness instead of resistance? What if we could trust that every ending carries the seed of a new beginning? In Buddhism, impermanence is referred to as anicca. Alongside suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta, it forms one of the three marks of existence, the fundamental truths about life. Anicca teaches us that clinging to permanence creates suffering because it goes against the natural flow of things. Instead of resisting change, we're invited to flow with it, to adapt, grow, and evolve alongside the ever-shifting currents of existence. To illustrate this point, let's reflect on personal experiences of impermanence. Think about a difficult time in your past, a breakup, a job loss, a health scare, or a period of intense stress. How did it feel then? Did it seem like the pain would never end? Now ask yourself, how does it feel now? Chances are, it's less intense or perhaps gone entirely. This simple reflection demonstrates the power of impermanence. No matter how overwhelming a situation feels, it will eventually pass. The same principle applies to positive experiences. Have you ever wished you could freeze a moment in time, a joyful celebration, a breathtaking sunset, or a quiet afternoon spent with loved ones? While it's natural to want to hold on to these memories, their impermanence is precisely what makes them precious. Knowing that they won't last forever encourages us to savor them while they're here. Now let's dive deeper into how understanding impermanence can transform our relationship with worry and negativity. When we obsess over potential problems or ruminate on past mistakes, we forget that these thoughts are impermanent too. They rise, linger for a while, and then dissolve, just like clouds drifting across the sky. By reminding ourselves of this truth, we create distance between ourselves and our worries. We stop identifying with them and start observing them instead. Here's an exercise to help you internalize the lesson of impermanence. Close your eyes for a moment. Take 3 deep breaths. Now bring to mind something that's causing you distress, a challenge at work, a strained relationship, or a looming decision. As you think about it, silently repeat to yourself, "This too shall pass." Feel the weight of those words sinking in. Whatever you're facing, no matter how daunting, is temporary. Next, expand this perspective to include positive experiences. Picture a recent moment of happiness, a compliment from a friend, a delicious meal, or a peaceful walk in nature. Silently acknowledge, "This too shall pass." Notice how this awareness enhances your appreciation for the present moment. You cherish it more deeply, knowing it won't last forever. Impermanence also helps us confront one of the greatest fears shared by humanity: death. Mortality is a taboo topic in many cultures, yet it's an unavoidable part of life. Reflecting on death doesn't have to be morbid. It can actually inspire us to live more fully. When we recognize the fragility of life, we prioritize what truly matters. We spend less time chasing superficial goals and more time nurturing meaningful connections, pursuing passions, and expressing gratitude. In Buddhism, contemplating mortality is considered a powerful practice. Monks often meditate on death, not out of fear, but to cultivate urgency and clarity. They ask themselves questions like, if I knew I had one day left to live, how would I spend it? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These reflections strip away distractions and reveal what's most important. Let's take a closer look at how impermanence applies to daily life. Here are several ways to integrate this teaching into your routine. Mindful observation of change throughout your day. Pay attention to subtle signs of impermanence. Watch sunlight shift across a room. Notice how food transforms as you cook it. or observe the ebb and flow of emotions within yourself. These small moments remind you that everything is in flux. Gratitude for transience. Use impermanence as a lens for gratitude. Instead of lamenting the brevity of pleasant experiences, celebrate their rarity. For example, if you're enjoying a warm cup of tea, pause to appreciate its aroma, flavor, and warmth. Knowing it won't last forever enhances your enjoyment. Letting go of attachment practice. Releasing attachment to outcomes, people, and possessions. This doesn't mean abandoning care or responsibility. It means holding things lightly with open hands, rather than clenched fists. When you stop clinging so tightly, you create space for growth and transformation. Embracing uncertainty. Life is inherently unpredictable. Rather than fearing the unknown, view it as an opportunity for adventure. Each twist and turn brings new possibilities, lessons, and surprises. Trust that you have the strength to navigate whatever comes your way. Reflection on cycles. Observe the cyclical nature of life. Day turning into night, seasons transitioning, tides rising and falling. These patterns mirror the rhythms within us. Periods of activity followed by rest, creativity followed by stillness, connection followed by solitude. Honoring these cycles fosters balance and harmony. Now, let's talk about how impermanence relates to mindfulness. Mindfulness invites us to stay present, anchoring ourselves in the here and now. Why is this so important? Because the present moment is the only thing that's real. The past has already happened. The future hasn't arrived yet. Everything else exists only in our minds. By focusing on the present, we align ourselves with the truth of impermanence. We stop living in stories about what was or what might be and start experiencing life as it unfolds. Consider the following metaphor. Imagine standing on a riverbank, watching water rush past. If you try to grasp at the water, it slips through your fingers. But if you simply stand there, observing its movement, you witness its beauty without trying to control it. This is the essence of mindfulness and of impermanence. Another aspect of impermanence worth exploring is its role in healing. When we accept that pain is temporary, we become more willing to face it head-on. Instead of avoiding discomfort, we lean into it, trusting that it will eventually subside. This courage allows us to process emotions fully, integrating them into our lives rather than suppressing them. Finally, let's address the paradox of impermanence. On one hand, it reminds us of life's fragility, urging us to make the most of every moment. On the other hand, it reassures us that nothing, including suffering, is permanent. This dual perspective empowers us to live boldly yet gracefully, embracing both the light and dark aspects of existence. Before we move on, I'd like to guide you through a brief meditation to deepen your understanding of impermanence. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now, visualize a river flowing steadily before you. As each thought or emotion arises, imagine placing it gently into the current, watching it drift away. Silently repeat to yourself, "Everything changes. I am part of this flow." Stay with this visualization for a few minutes, allowing the imagery to anchor you in the truth of impermanence. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset? Any sensations in your body? In the next chapter, we'll explore the transformative power of gratitude, a practice that complements impermanence by helping us focus on the abundance already present in our lives. Until then, continue reflecting on impermanence throughout your day. Notice how it enriches your appreciation for the ordinary and extraordinary alike. Chapter 6. Practicing Gratitude Daily. Transforming Negativity into Abundance. Welcome back to this space of calm and reflection. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most powerful antidotes to negativity, gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying thank you. It's a mindset, a practice, and a way of seeing the world that has the potential to transform your life. By shifting your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, you open yourself up to joy, connection, and peace, even in the midst of challenges. Let's start by acknowledging a universal truth. Life is messy. It's filled with ups and downs, triumphs and setbacks, beauty and heartache. And yet, within every moment, no matter how difficult, there's something to be grateful for. This might sound overly simplistic or even naive, especially if you're going through a tough time. But here's the key insight. Gratitude isn't about ignoring pain or pretending everything is fine. It's about finding light in the darkness, however faint it may seem. In Buddhism, gratitude is closely tied to mindfulness and impermanence. When we practice gratitude, we anchor ourselves in the present moment, appreciating what's already here instead of clinging to what's missing or worrying about what's to come. We recognize that every experience, pleasant or unpleasant, is temporary, which makes gratitude all the more urgent. As the poet Rumi once wrote, "Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond." So, how does gratitude work its magic? Research shows that practicing gratitude rewires our brains over time. It strengthens neural pathways associated with positivity, resilience, and emotional regulation. People who regularly express gratitude report lower levels of stress, higher levels of happiness, and stronger relationships. They also tend to sleep better, recover faster from illness, and feel more connected to their communities. But gratitude doesn't just benefit us individually, it ripples outward, influencing those around us. When we express appreciation for others, we strengthen bonds, foster trust, and inspire reciprocity. A heartfelt thank you can brighten someone's day, creating a chain reaction of kindness and goodwill. Now, let's dive deeper into how to cultivate gratitude in daily life. While some people naturally lean toward optimism, gratitude is a skill that anyone can develop with practice. Here are several techniques to help you get started. The Gratitude Journal. One of the simplest and most effective ways to practice gratitude is by keeping a journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be monumental achievements. They could be as small as a kind word from a stranger, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, or the taste of your favorite coffee. Over time, this habit trains your brain to seek out positivity and notice the good in everyday moments. To take it a step further, reflect on why you're grateful for each item. For example, instead of writing, "I'm grateful for my friend," add context. "I'm grateful for my friend because they listened to me when I needed support." This deepens your awareness of the specific ways people, experiences, and circumstances enrich your life. Gratitude. Letters. Another powerful exercise is writing gratitude letters. Think of someone who has made a meaningful impact on your life, a mentor, family member, colleague, or friend, and write them a letter expressing your appreciation. Be specific about what they did and how it affected you. If possible, deliver the letter in person or read it aloud to them. The act of articulating your gratitude not only strengthens your bond, but also amplifies its effects. Mindful moments of gratitude. Throughout your day, pause to acknowledge moments of gratitude as they arise. For instance, while sipping your morning tea, silently say, "Thank you for this quiet moment of peace," or during a walk outside, whisper, "Thank you for the fresh air and vibrant colors of nature." These micro practices remind you to stay present and appreciate the richness of ordinary experiences. Gratitude. Meditation. Combine gratitude with meditation for a deeply nourishing practice. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take 3 deep breaths. Bring to mind something or someone you're grateful for. Visualize it clearly, immersing yourself in the details. Feel the warmth of gratitude spreading through your body, filling you with light and love. Silently repeat phrases like, "I am grateful for this gift. I honor the abundance in my life. I cherish the connections I share." Gratitude. Walks. Take a mindful stroll outdoors, focusing on the sights, sounds, and sensations around you. With each step, silently name something you're grateful for. Maybe it's the rustling leaves, the chirping birds, or the feeling of solid ground beneath your feet. Walking with gratitude turns an ordinary activity into a sacred ritual. Now let's talk about why gratitude matters so much, especially when faced with adversity. During challenging times, it's easy to lose sight of what's working well. Our minds default to scanning for problems, magnifying difficulties, and minimizing blessings. Practicing gratitude interrupts this cycle, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, there's still goodness to be found. Consider the following metaphor. Imagine standing in a pitch-black room. At first glance, it seems empty and desolate. But as your eyes adjust, you begin to notice tiny pinpricks of light scattered across the walls, stars in the night sky. Gratitude is like adjusting your vision. It helps you see the stars amidst the shadows, transforming despair into hope. To illustrate this point, let's reflect on personal examples of gratitude during hardship. Think about a difficult situation you've faced. A health issue, financial strain, or relationship conflict. Now ask yourself, was there anything positive hidden within that experience? Perhaps it taught you patience, resilience, or empathy. Maybe it brought you closer to loved ones or revealed untapped strengths. By reframing challenges through the lens of gratitude, you reclaim agency over your narrative. Of course, practicing gratitude doesn't mean dismissing legitimate grievances or toxic situations. There's a difference between being grateful for adversity itself and being grateful for the lessons, growth, or silver linings it offers. Authentic gratitude honors complexity. It acknowledges pain without letting it overshadow possibility. Another important aspect of gratitude is its ability to counteract comparison. Social media bombards us with curated images of perfection, making it easy to feel inadequate. Gratitude shifts our focus inward, reminding us of our unique blessings. Instead of envying someone else's success, we celebrate our own journey. Instead of dwelling on scarcity, we embrace abundance. Let's pause here for a moment. Reflect on a recent experience where you felt truly grateful. What sparked that feeling? How did it affect your mood and perspective? Chances are, it lifted your spirits, even if only temporarily. Now think about how you can incorporate more gratitude into your daily routine. Could you start each day by listing 3 things you're thankful for? Could you end conversations with expressions of appreciation? Small actions add up over time. Finally, let's address the role of consistency in gratitude practice. Like any skill, gratitude requires repetition to take root. You might not feel particularly grateful on certain days, and that's okay. On those days, challenge yourself to find one thing to appreciate, no matter how minor. Even forced gratitude has benefits. Over time, it becomes genuine. Before we move on, I'd like to guide you through a brief exercise to reinforce what we've covered. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now, bring to mind 3 things you're grateful for today. Picture each one vividly, immersing yourself in the details. Silently repeat, I am grateful for item 1. I am grateful for item 2. I am grateful for items 3. Stay with this visualization for a few minutes, allowing the feelings of gratitude to wash over you. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset? Any sensations in your body? In the next chapter, we'll explore grounding techniques for anxiety, a set of practical tools designed to anchor you in the present moment and calm your nervous system. Until then, continue practicing gratitude throughout your day. Notice how it enriches your interactions, enhances your mood, and deepens your connection to life. Chapter 7. Grounding techniques for anxiety. Anchoring yourself in the present moment. Welcome back to this journey of mindfulness and self-discovery. In this chapter, we'll explore grounding techniques, a set of powerful tools designed to help you anchor yourself in the present moment and calm your nervous system. Whether you're dealing with overwhelming anxiety, racing thoughts, or simply feeling disconnected from your body, these practices can provide immediate relief and long-term resilience. Let's begin by understanding why grounding is so important. Anxiety often stems from our minds being caught in loops, replaying past mistakes, anticipating future disasters, or fixating on worst-case scenarios. When we're stuck in these mental patterns, we lose touch with the here and now. Our bodies tense up, our breath becomes shallow, and we feel increasingly unmoored. Grounding techniques counteract this by redirecting your attention to the physical sensations of the present moment. They remind you that you are safe, stable, and capable of handling whatever arises. In Buddhism, grounding aligns with the principle of mindfulness, staying fully present with what is happening right now without judgment. It also ties into the concept of embodiment, which emphasizes connecting deeply with your physical experience. By rooting yourself in your body, you create a sense of steadiness that helps you weather life's storms. Now let's dive into some of the most effective grounding techniques. These methods range from simple exercises you can do anywhere to more structured practices that require a bit more time and focus. Each one serves as an anchor, pulling you out of spiraling thoughts and back into the safety of the present moment. The 5-4-3-2-1 method. This sensory-based technique is ideal for moments when anxiety feels overwhelming. Start by identifying 5 things you can see. Look around and notice 5 distinct objects in your environment. Describe them silently to yourself, perhaps the color of a wall, the texture of a blanket, or the movement of leaves outside. 4 things you can touch. Feel 4 different textures. It could be the fabric of your clothes, the smoothness of a table, or the coolness of water running over your hands. 3 things you can hear. Tune into sounds around you, the hum of appliances, birds chirping, or distant traffic. If it's quiet, listen for subtle noises like your own breathing. 2 things you can smell. Notice scents in your surroundings. Maybe it's the aroma of coffee, fresh air, or a candle burning nearby. If nothing stands out, recall a favorite scent and imagine inhaling it. 1 thing you can taste. Focus on the flavor in your mouth, whether it's the lingering mint of toothpaste, the sweetness of fruit, or simply the neutral taste of saliva. By engaging all 5 senses, you bring your awareness back to the tangible world, interrupting anxious thoughts and creating space for calm. Mindful breathing, your breath is always with you, making it one of the most accessible grounding tools. To practice mindful breathing, find a comfortable position, sitting upright or lying down, and close your eyes if it feels safe to do so. Place 1 hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Take slow, deliberate breaths, focusing on the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. Feel your abdomen rise and fall with each inhale and exhale. If your mind wanders, gently guide your attention back to your breath. You might silently count 1 on the inhale and 2 on the exhale, repeating up to 10 before starting over. This rhythmic pattern soothes your nervous system and restores balance. Body scans. A body scan involves systematically bringing your attention to different parts of your body, noticing any areas of tension or relaxation. Begin at the top of your head and slowly work your way down to your toes. As you move through each area, silently ask yourself, what sensations am I noticing here? Is there tightness, warmth, tingling, or ease? Don't try to change anything, simply observe. If you encounter discomfort, acknowledge it without judgment. Imagine sending breaths of relaxation to that area, visualizing tension melting away. This practice not only grounds you, but also fosters greater body awareness and self-compassion. Grounding through touch physical contact can be incredibly soothing during moments of distress. Try placing your hands on a solid surface, a wall, desk, or floor, and pressing firmly against it. Feel the stability beneath your palms. Alternatively, hold an object that feels comforting, such as a stone, piece of jewelry, or soft blanket. Pay attention to its weight, texture, and temperature. These tactile experiences remind you of your connection to the physical world. Nature. Immersion. Spending time in nature is one of the most effective ways to ground yourself. Walk barefoot on grass, sand, or soil, a practice known as earthing, and feel the earth beneath your feet. Listen to the rustling leaves, watch the sway of branches, or gaze at the horizon. Nature has a way of putting things into perspective, reminding us of our place within the larger web of existence. Affirmations and mantras words have power, especially when repeated intentionally. During anxious moments, recite affirmations or mantras that resonate with you. Examples include, I am safe in this moment. This too shall pass. I am rooted and grounded. I release what I cannot control. Pair these phrases with deep breaths, allowing their meaning to sink in. Over time, they become anchors you can rely on whenever anxiety strikes. Movement-based grounding physical activity is another excellent way to reconnect with your body. Stretch, dance, shake out tension, or practice yoga poses like child's pose or mountain pose. Movement releases pent-up energy and shifts your focus away from spiraling thoughts. Even something as simple as wiggling your fingers and toes can help you feel more embodied. Visualization. Exercises, guided imagery can transport you to a place of peace and stability. Close your eyes and picture yourself standing at the base of a tree. Imagine its roots extending deep into the ground, anchoring it securely. Now visualize your own roots growing from the soles of your feet, merging with the tree's network. Feel the strength and support flowing upward into your body. Stay with this image for several minutes, letting it fill you with a sense of groundedness. Now let's talk about why grounding works. When we're anxious, our sympathetic nervous system activates, triggering the fight or flight response. Our heart rate increases, muscles tense, and rational thinking diminishes. Grounding techniques activate the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling to your body that it's safe to relax. By focusing on the present moment, you interrupt the cycle of fear and regain control over your physiology. Another key benefit of grounding is its accessibility. Unlike meditation, which requires concentration and patience, grounding techniques can be done quickly and discreetly. You don't need special equipment, training, or even privacy. Whether you're sitting in a meeting, standing in line, or lying awake at night, grounding offers immediate relief. Let's pause here for a moment. Reflect on a recent instance when you felt anxious or overwhelmed. What did it feel like in your body? Did your chest tighten? Did your mind race? Now imagine applying one of the grounding techniques we've discussed. How might it have helped you feel more centered and calm? It's important to note that grounding isn't a cure, or it's a tool. While it provides temporary relief, addressing the root causes of anxiety often requires deeper exploration, possibly with the help of a therapist or counselor. That said, grounding builds resilience, equipping you to face challenges with greater clarity and confidence. Finally, let's address how to incorporate grounding into your daily routine. Consistency is key. Even brief moments of grounding throughout the day can make a significant difference. For example, start your morning with mindful breathing or a body scan. Take short breaks during work to stretch or use the 5-4-3-2-1 method. End your evening with a gratitude reflection paired with visualization. Before we move on, I'd like to guide you through a grounding exercise to reinforce what we've covered. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now place your hands on a solid surface, your knees, a table, or the floor. Press firmly against it, feeling its stability. Silently repeat, I am here, I am safe, I am grounded. Stay with this sensation for a few minutes, allowing it to anchor you in the present moment. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset, any sensations in your body? In the next chapter, we'll explore meditation for inner peace, a practice that complements grounding by fostering sustained calm and clarity. Until then, continue experimenting with grounding techniques throughout your day. Notice how they transform your relationship with anxiety and deepen your connection to the present moment. Chapter 8. Meditation for Inner Peace. A Sanctuary for the Mind. Welcome back to this space of calm and reflection. In this chapter, we'll explore one of the most profound practices for cultivating inner peace: meditation. Meditation is not just a technique, it's a sanctuary for the mind, a refuge where you can retreat from the noise and chaos of daily life. Whether you're new to meditation or have been practicing for years, this chapter will guide you through its principles, benefits, and practical applications. Let's begin by addressing a common misconception. Many people believe that meditation is about clearing the mind completely or achieving some elusive state of bliss. While those images may appear in popular culture, they don't reflect the true essence of meditation. At its core, meditation is about training your attention, developing awareness, and fostering a compassionate relationship with yourself. It's less about perfection and more about presence. In Buddhism, meditation serves as a cornerstone of spiritual practice. Known as bhavana, which translates to cultivation, it involves nurturing qualities like mindfulness, concentration, and loving kindness. Through regular meditation, practitioners learn to observe their thoughts and emotions without attachment, creating space for clarity, wisdom, and peace to emerge. Now let's delve deeper into why meditation matters so much in today's fast-paced world. Modern life bombards us with stimuli, notifications, deadlines, social media updates, endless to-do lists. Our minds rarely get a chance to rest, leading to chronic stress, burnout, and emotional exhaustion. Meditation offers a counterbalance, providing a dedicated time to slow down, breathe deeply, and reconnect with what truly matters. Research supports the transformative power of meditation. Studies show that regular practice reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, improves focus and memory, lowers blood pressure, and even enhances immune function. On a neurological level, meditation strengthens areas of the brain associated with self-awareness, empathy, and decision-making, while shrinking regions linked to fear and reactivity. These changes occur over time, but many people report feeling calmer and more centered after just one session. So, how do you meditate? There are countless styles and techniques, each tailored to different needs and preferences. Let's explore several foundational approaches to help you find what resonates most with you. Mindfulness. Meditation, perhaps the most widely practiced form of meditation, mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. To try it, sit comfortably with your spine straight and close your eyes if it feels safe to do so. Focus on your breath, noticing the sensation of air entering and leaving your nostrils. If your mind wanders, which it inevitably will, gently guide your attention back to your breath. Over time, expand your awareness to include other aspects of your experience. Bodily sensations, sounds, thoughts, and emotions. Observe them with curiosity rather than criticism. This non-judgmental stance helps you develop equanimity, a steady, balanced state of mind that remains undisturbed by external circumstances. Loving-kindness meditation, metta. As we discussed earlier, loving-kindness meditation cultivates compassion for yourself and others. Begin by placing a hand over your heart and silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease." Once you've directed these wishes toward yourself, expand outward. Picture someone you love, then someone neutral, and finally, someone challenging. Extend the same intentions to all beings, fostering a sense of interconnectedness and goodwill. Body scan. Meditation. A body scan involves systematically bringing your attention to different parts of your body, noticing any areas of tension or relaxation. Start at the top of your head and slowly work your way down to your toes. As you move through each area, silently ask yourself, what sensations am I noticing here? Is there tightness, warmth, tingling, or ease? This practice promotes embodiment, helping you feel more grounded and connected to your physical experience. It's particularly effective for releasing stored stress and trauma. Breath awareness. Meditation similar to mindfulness meditation, breath awareness focuses specifically on the rhythm and quality of your breathing. Counting your breaths can enhance concentration. For example, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and pause for 4 counts before beginning again. This structured approach creates a sense of stability and flow. Visualization. Meditation visualization uses imagery to evoke feelings of peace, safety, and abundance. Close your eyes and picture a serene setting, a beach, forest, or mountain retreat. Engage all your senses. Imagine the warmth of the sun, the sound of waves crashing, the scent of pine trees. Allow this mental escape to fill you with tranquility and joy. Walking meditation for those who struggle with seated meditation. Walking meditation offers an alternative. Find a quiet path and walk slowly, synchronizing your steps with your breath. With each step, say silently to yourself, lifting, moving, placing. Pay attention to the sensations in your feet, legs, and hips. Walking meditation combines movement with mindfulness, grounding you in both body and mind. Mantra meditation. Mantras are repetitive phrases or sounds that help focus the mind. Choose a word or phrase that resonates with you, such as peace, calm, or I am enough, and repeat it silently or aloud. The repetition creates a soothing rhythm, calming mental chatter and deepening relaxation. Now let's talk about the challenges of meditation and how to overcome them. Many beginners struggle with frustration, boredom, or impatience, especially when their minds wander incessantly. Remember, this is normal. Meditation isn't about stopping thoughts, but observing them without attachment. Each time you notice your attention drifting and bring it back to your focal point, whether it's your breath, mantra, or body, you strengthen your ability to concentrate. Progress comes gradually, often imperceptibly, but the cumulative effects are profound. Another obstacle is finding time to meditate consistently. Life gets busy and carving out space for stillness can feel daunting. Start small, even 5 minutes a day makes a difference. Gradually increase the duration as you build momentum. Incorporate meditation into your routine by linking it to existing habits, such as brushing your teeth or drinking coffee. Consistency matters more than length. Let's pause here for a moment. Reflect on your own relationship with meditation. Have you tried it before? If so, what was your experience like? Was it calming, frustrating, or somewhere in between? If you haven't meditated yet, consider how incorporating it into your life might benefit you. Would you prefer a guided app, silent sessions, or group classes? There's no right or wrong answer, only what works best for you. Finally, let's address the broader impact of meditation on daily life. Beyond reducing stress and enhancing well-being, meditation fosters resilience, creativity, and emotional intelligence. It teaches you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, improving relationships and decision-making. By cultivating inner peace, you radiate calmness outward, inspiring those around you to do the same. Before we move on, I'd like to guide you through a short meditation to deepen your understanding of this practice. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position, either sitting upright or lying down, and close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling gently through your mouth. Now allow your breathing to return to its natural rhythm. Focus your attention on the sensation of your breath as it flows in and out. If your mind wanders, acknowledge the distraction without judgment and gently guide your awareness back to your breath. Silently repeat to yourself, I am here. I am safe. I am whole. Stay with this practice for 5 to 10 minutes, allowing yourself to fully immerse in the present moment. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset? any sensations in your body. In the next chapter, we'll explore building resilience through mindful living, a continuation of our journey toward greater balance and fulfillment. Until then, continue experimenting with meditation throughout your day. Notice how it enriches your interactions, enhances your mood, and deepens your connection to life. Chapter 9. Building Resilience Through Mindful Living. Thriving in the midst of change. Welcome back to this journey of mindfulness and self-discovery. In this chapter, we'll explore how mindful living can help you build resilience, a quality that allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, strength, and adaptability. Resilience isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about facing them head-on while remaining grounded in your values, purpose, and inner peace. Let's begin by understanding what resilience truly means. At its essence, resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, recover from adversity, and continue growing despite obstacles. It's not an innate trait reserved for a select few. It's a skill anyone can cultivate through intentional practices like mindfulness. By staying connected to the present moment, you develop the clarity and courage needed to weather life's storms. In Buddhism, resilience aligns with the principle of equanimity, the capacity to remain steady and balanced regardless of external circumstances. Equanimity doesn't mean indifference or passivity. It means responding to challenges with wisdom rather than reactivity. When you approach life mindfully, you stop being tossed around by every wave of emotion or event. Instead, you become the calm center of the storm, capable of making thoughtful decisions even in chaotic times. Now let's delve into why mindful living is such a powerful foundation for resilience. Mindfulness invites us to slow down, pay attention, and engage fully with whatever arises, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. This heightened awareness helps us recognize early warning signs of stress, fatigue, or overwhelm, allowing us to address issues before they escalate. It also fosters self-compassion, reminding us that imperfection is part of the human experience and that growth often emerges from struggle. To illustrate this point, consider the metaphor of a tree during a storm. A rigid tree, unable to bend with the wind, risks snapping under pressure. But a flexible tree, rooted deeply in the earth, sways gracefully with each gust, emerging stronger after the storm passes. Similarly, mindful living teaches us to stay rooted in our values while adapting to changing conditions. We learn to flow with life's unpredictability instead of resisting it. So, how do we integrate mindfulness into daily life to build resilience? Here are several practical strategies designed to help you thrive in the face of challenges. Mindful routines transform ordinary tasks into opportunities for presence and growth. Whether you're brushing your teeth, washing dishes, or commuting to work, bring your full attention to the activity. Notice the textures, sounds, and sensations involved. For example, while washing dishes, focus on the warmth of the water, the scent of soap, and the rhythm of scrubbing. These small moments of mindfulness accumulate over time, creating a sense of stability and calm. Intentional pauses. Build short pauses into your day to reset and recharge. Set reminders on your phone or use natural transitions, like finishing a task or walking between rooms, as cues to pause. During these breaks, take 3 deep breaths, stretch your body, or simply notice your surroundings. These micro moments of stillness interrupt automatic patterns of thinking and behaving, giving you space to choose how you want to respond to situations. Gratitude in action. As we discussed in Chapter 6, gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. To deepen this practice, incorporate gratitude into your actions. For instance, express appreciation to someone who made your day easier, leave a generous tip for service workers, or write a heartfelt note to a loved one. By acting on gratitude, you reinforce positive emotions and strengthen social connections, both essential components of resilience. Emotional regulation. Mindfulness equips you with tools to manage difficult emotions effectively. When you notice anger, frustration, or sadness arising, pause and acknowledge it without judgment. Ask yourself, where do I feel this emotion in my body? What triggered it? What unmet need might be fueling it? This process of inquiry creates distance between you and your emotions, empowering you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Cultivating curiosity approach. Challenges with curiosity instead of fear. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try reframing the question, "What can I learn from this experience?" Curiosity opens doors to new insights, solutions, and possibilities. It transforms adversity into opportunity, helping you grow wiser and more resilient with each challenge you face. Prioritizing self-care resilience requires energy, and energy comes from taking care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. Make self-care a non-negotiable part of your routine. This might include getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, exercising regularly, or setting boundaries to protect your time and energy. Remember, self-care isn't selfish. It's foundational to your ability to show up fully for yourself and others. Connecting with nature. Spending time outdoors has been shown to reduce stress, boost mood, and enhance creativity, all vital ingredients for resilience. Whether it's a walk in the park, tending to plants, or simply sitting under a tree, nature reminds us of our place within the larger web of existence. It puts problems into perspective and restores a sense of wonder and awe. Practicing non-attachment. One of the most liberating aspects of mindful living is learning to let go of attachment to outcomes. While it's natural to have goals and aspirations, clinging too tightly to specific results sets you up for disappointment. Instead, focus on the process, the effort, intention, and values you bring to each moment. Trust that everything unfolds in its own time and that you have the strength to adapt along the way. Now let's talk about the role of community in building resilience. Humans are inherently social creatures, wired for connection and belonging. Surrounding yourself with supportive friends, family members, mentors, or peers creates a safety net during tough times. Share your struggles openly, seek advice when needed, and offer help to others whenever possible. Acts of mutual support amplify resilience, fostering a sense of shared strength and solidarity. Another important aspect of resilience is embracing failure as a teacher. Mistakes and setbacks are inevitable, they're part of the learning process. Instead of viewing them as evidence of inadequacy, see them as stepping stones toward growth. Reflect on past failures and ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? How has it shaped who I am today? Celebrate your progress, no matter how incremental it may seem. Let's pause here for a moment. Reflect on a recent challenge you faced. How did you respond to it? Did you lean into mindfulness practices like breathing exercises, grounding techniques, or self-compassion? Or did you default to old habits of avoidance, criticism, or overwhelm? Now imagine approaching that same situation differently with presence, patience, and curiosity. How might the outcome have changed? It's important to acknowledge that building resilience takes time and effort. There will be days when you feel strong and capable, and other days when you feel fragile and uncertain. That's okay. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up each time you do. Be gentle with yourself throughout this process, celebrating small victories along the way. Finally, let's address how mindful living enhances not only personal resilience but also collective resilience. When individuals practice mindfulness, they contribute to a culture of empathy, compassion, and collaboration. This ripple effect extends beyond individual lives, influencing families, workplaces, communities, and society at large. Imagine a world where everyone prioritized presence, kindness, and understanding. What possibilities would emerge? Before we move on, I'd like to guide you through a brief reflection exercise to reinforce what we've covered. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position, either sitting upright or lying down, and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now visualize yourself standing firmly rooted in the ground like a tree braving a storm. Feel the strength and flexibility in your roots, trunk, and branches. Silently repeat to yourself, I am grounded, I am adaptable, I am resilient. Stay with this visualization for a few minutes and allowing it to fill you with confidence and calm. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset? Any sensations in your body? In the next chapter, we'll explore creating a personal practice, a roadmap for integrating mindfulness, meditation, and gratitude into your daily life. Until then, continue experimenting with mindful living throughout your day. Notice how it transforms your interactions, enhances your mood, and deepens your connection to life. Chapter 10, Creating a Personal Practice, a lifelong journey of growth and transformation. Welcome back to this space of calm and reflection. In this final chapter, we'll explore how to create a personal practice, a sustainable, adaptable framework for integrating mindfulness, meditation, gratitude, and all the tools we've discussed into your daily life. This isn't about achieving perfection or adhering rigidly to rules. It's about designing a practice that feels authentic, nourishing, and uniquely yours. Let's begin by acknowledging a fundamental truth. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It unfolds gradually through consistent effort and gentle persistence. Just as a river carves its path over time, so too does a personal practice shape your inner landscape. The key is consistency, not intensity. Small, regular actions compound into profound changes over weeks, months, and years. In Buddhism, this idea is reflected in the concept of sila, or ethical discipline. Sila emphasizes cultivating wholesome habits that align with wisdom and compassion. These habits aren't imposed from outside, they arise naturally as you deepen your understanding of yourself and the world around you. Similarly, your personal practice should evolve organically, guided by curiosity, intuition, and self-awareness. Now, let's dive into the essential elements of creating a personal practice. While everyone's journey will look different, there are several universal principles that can help you build a strong foundation. Start small. One of the biggest mistakes people make when beginning a mindfulness or meditation practice is trying to do too much too soon. They commit to hour-long sessions every day or vow to overhaul their entire lifestyle overnight. While enthusiasm is admirable, it often leads to burnout and frustration. Instead, start small. Dedicate just 5 minutes each day to mindfulness or meditation. Use a timer if it helps and gradually increase the duration as you feel ready. Consistency matters more than length. 5 minutes done daily has a greater impact than an hour done sporadically. Create rituals. Rituals provide structure and meaning, anchoring your practice in everyday life. Consider incorporating simple rituals into your routine. Light a candle before meditating to signal the start of your session. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each morning. End your day with a few moments of deep breathing or reflection. But over time, these rituals become sacred touchstones, reminding you to pause and reconnect with yourself. Find what resonates. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to mindfulness and meditation. Experiment with different techniques: mindful breathing, loving kindness meditation, body scans, visualization exercises, and notice which ones resonate most deeply with you. Pay attention to how each practice affects your mood, energy levels, and overall sense of well-being. Trust your instinct. Your body and mind will guide you toward what feels right. Set realistic goals. Setting goals gives your practice direction and purpose. However, it's important to set realistic, achievable goals rather than lofty expectations. For example, instead of aiming to meditate for 30 minutes every day, commit to 10 minutes 3 times a week. Once you've established that habit, you can expand it. Celebrate milestones along the way, whether it's completing a week of consistent practice or noticing subtle shifts in your mindset. Embrace flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and rigid routines often crumble under pressure. Your personal practice should be flexible enough to adapt to changing circumstances. If you miss a day or even a week, don't berate yourself. Simply acknowledge the gap without judgment and return to your practice when you're ready. Remember, progress isn't linear. Every step forward counts, no matter how small. Track your progress. Journaling is a powerful tool for tracking your growth and staying motivated. At the end of each session, jot down a few notes about your experience. How did you feel before and after practicing? What insights arose during meditation? What challenges did you encounter, and how did you overcome them? Reviewing your entries periodically allows you to see patterns, celebrate progress, and identify areas for improvement. Cultivate accountability. Sharing your intentions with others can strengthen your commitment. Find an accountability partner, a friend, family member, or mentor who shares your interest in mindfulness. Check in regularly to discuss your experiences, offer encouragement, and troubleshoot obstacles. Alternatively, join a group class or online community where you can connect with like-minded individuals. Collective support amplifies motivation and fosters a sense of belonging. Prioritize self-compassion. Building. A personal practice requires patience and kindness, especially toward yourself. There will be days when distractions pull you away, emotions feel overwhelming, or motivation wanes. On those days, remind yourself why you started this journey. Treat yourself with the same compassion you'd extend to a dear friend struggling with similar challenges. Progress isn't measured by perfection, but by persistence. Now, let's talk about how to integrate mindfulness into specific aspects of your life. Morning routine. Start your day with intention by incorporating mindfulness into your morning routine. Spend a few minutes stretching, breathing deeply, or setting an affirmation for the day ahead. Visualize how you want to show up in the world with presence, kindness, and courage. A mindful morning sets the tone for the rest of your day. Work and productivity. Mindfulness enhances focus, creativity, and decision-making, skills essential for success in any field. Take short breaks throughout your workday to reset and recharge. Use the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique to anchor yourself during stressful moments. Before responding to emails or attending meetings, pause and take a few conscious breaths. This simple act reduces reactivity and improves communication. Relationships. Mindful living transforms relationships by fostering empathy, active listening, and emotional regulation. Practice being fully present during conversations. Put away your phone, maintain eye contact, and truly hear what the other person is saying. Express gratitude for loved ones regularly, whether through words, gestures, or thoughtful acts. When conflicts arise, respond with curiosity rather than criticism, seeking understanding rather than blame. Evening wind down end. Your day with mindfulness to promote relaxation and restorative sleep. Reflect on your accomplishments, however small, and release any lingering tension or negativity. Write in a gratitude journal, practice progressive muscle relaxation, or listen to calming music. Create a bedtime ritual that signals to your mind and body that it's time to unwind. Challenging times. During difficult periods, lean into your practice as a source of strength and stability. Use grounding techniques to manage anxiety, loving-kindness meditation to cultivate compassion, and visualization exercises to envision positive outcomes. Remind yourself of impermanence, the knowledge that pain, fear, and uncertainty are temporary. Trust that your practice equips you to navigate adversity with resilience and grace. Let's pause here for a moment. Reflect on what you've learned throughout this video series. Which tools and techniques resonate most deeply with you? How might you incorporate them into your daily life? Imagine yourself 6 months from now, having consistently practiced mindfulness and meditation. What changes would you notice in your thoughts, emotions, and relationships? It's important to recognize that creating a personal practice is a lifelong journey. There's always room to grow, refine, and expand your approach. As you deepen your understanding of mindfulness, new layers of insight and possibility will emerge. Stay open to experimentation, adaptation, and evolution. Finally, let's address the broader impact of your personal practice, not just on yourself, but on the world around you. When you cultivate peace, clarity, and compassion within, you radiate those qualities outward, inspiring others to do the same. Your presence becomes a gift to everyone you encounter, contributing to a ripple effect of positivity and healing. Before we conclude, I'd like to guide you through a brief exercise to solidify your commitment to creating a personal practice. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. Settle into a comfortable position, either sitting upright or lying down, and close your eyes. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Now visualize yourself 6 months from today having integrated mindfulness and meditation into your daily life. Picture the benefits you'll experience: reduce stress, improve focus, deeper connections, and greater joy. Silently repeat to yourself, I am committed to my growth. I trust the process. I embrace change with openness and courage. Stay with this visualization for a few minutes, allowing it to fill you with hope and determination. When you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the room. Reflect on your experience. Did you notice any shifts in your mindset, any sensations in your body? Congratulations, you've reached the end of our journey together. I hope this video has provided you with valuable insights, practical tools, and inspiration to embark on your own path of mindfulness and self-discovery. Remember, you don't need to rush. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Above all, trust that peace is possible, and it starts with you. And so, we come to the end of our journey together, a journey that has taken us through the transformative power of mindfulness, meditation, gratitude, and compassion. We've explored how to stop worrying about the negative, embrace acceptance, observe thoughts without judgment, cultivate resilience, and create a personal practice that supports your growth and well-being. As I reflect on everything we've covered, I'm reminded of something profound. Peace isn't a destination, it's a way of being. It's not something you achieve once and then keep forever. It's a choice you make moment by moment, day by day. Each time you pause to breathe deeply, each time you meet yourself with kindness, each time you choose presence over distraction, you're planting seeds of peace. And those seeds, though small, have the power to grow into something extraordinary. Throughout this video, my hope has been to offer you tools and insights that feel accessible, practical, and deeply nourishing. Whether you're new to mindfulness or already walking this path, know that every step forward matters. Progress isn't measured by grand gestures, but by the quiet, cumulative effects of showing up for yourself again and again. If there's one takeaway I'd like you to carry with you, it's this: you are enough, just as you are. You don't need to fix yourself, prove your worth, or chase perfection. What you need is already within you: the capacity to breathe, to notice, to connect, and to heal. All these practices we've discussed are simply reminders of what you already possess: the ability to live fully, authentically, and lovingly. I also want to acknowledge that this journey won't always be easy. There will be days when distractions pull you away, emotions feel overwhelming, or motivation wanes. On those days, remember why you started. Remind yourself of the moments when mindfulness brought you calm, when gratitude filled you with joy, when compassion softened your heart. Trust that even the smallest efforts ripple outward, shaping not only your life but the lives of those around you. Speaking of connection, I'd like to thank you for joining me here, for taking this time to invest in yourself, and for being part of the Mindful Zone. This channel exists because of people like you, people who believe in the possibility of change, who seek understanding, and who strive to live with greater awareness and kindness. Together we're building a community rooted in empathy, curiosity, and growth. If this video resonated with you, I encourage you to share it with someone who might benefit from its message. Perhaps it's a friend navigating challenges, a family member seeking peace, or a colleague looking for ways to manage stress. Sharing wisdom creates ripples, and those ripples can transform lives, including yours. Before we part ways, I invite you to take one final moment of reflection. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable. Take 3 deep breaths, feeling the air fill your lungs, and then gently release it. Now, silently ask yourself, What am I taking away from this journey? How will I nurture my practice moving forward? What does peace mean to me right now? Stay with this for a few seconds, allowing the answers to arise naturally. When you're ready, open your eyes and return to the room. Carry this sense of calm with you as you move through your day and beyond. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for trusting me to guide you through this exploration. Remember, you are never alone on this path. The teachings of Buddhism, the practices of mindfulness and meditation, and the countless others who walk alongside you, all of these resources are here to support you. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. May you find peace in every breath, joy in every moment, and love in every connection. Goodbye for now. Goodbye.